of mesilat yesharim Ramchal Haram Moshe Chaim Losato Zachuto Yagen Aleinu. So we finished the topic or the subject of Zehirut, especially for Tzaddikim that are under radar, that Hashem watched them more. Kahfut HaSa'ara. So Ramchal explained, so this is not only that we might think only Reshaim, only Benonim, only regular people, they are the ones who have to be careful. We see the higher level the person is, the higher Zehirut he requires. And in Masechet Chagiga, they explain that Rabbi Yochanan can have a mati lahaikra have a bachi. When Rabbi Yochanan was reading this pasuk in Navi, he was crying. Why? Because the pasuk says, "V'karabti alechem lamishpat v'hayiti ed memaher." That Hashem was saying, when it comes to the mishpat, court date, and judging of Am Yisrael, Hashem says, and I will be drawn near to you for the judgment. Bekarafti alechem, I will be close to you, near you, in order to judge you, means so much Hashem is gonna hurry to come and to judge us. V'hayiti et memaher, and if you say, who's gonna be the witness in such a court date, in our judgment? God says, I will be the ed, v'hayiti ed, the witness, memaher, to expedite the judgment, and I will be the swift witness against the sinners, against the adulterers, against those who swear falsely, and against those who extort the wage of the worker. This is in Malachi that Rabbi Yochanan says there is no way that the person could be exempt from any judgment from Hashem, because you see, even Hashem will be our witness, our judge, and he'll know everything, and there is no way we could say different or otherwise. So, Evet sheshoklim alav kalot kehamurot, Rabbi Yochanan was saying, a servant that his master would make him responsible for even kalot, very light and little things, kahamurot, like a serious and heavy things. That means they are so exact and so punctual with him that every dot, every movement is counted. Takana yeshlo, is any solution for it? With such a exact judgment, how can you save yourself or defend yourself? So that's why Rabbi Yochanan was crying, that we are not dealing with a human judge. We are not dealing with someone who is not aware of the situation. We're dealing with Hashem, which is exactly aware of every thought and every feeling and every action that we have, and everything has been recorded, and how we're going to face it and even defend ourselves. But Ramchal says, obviously, Pasuk is not telling us, or Rabbi Yochanan, that Hashem he judge or punish for a small chet, small avon, like a big avon. He's not telling us that there is no difference between one or other. Because we know Hashem is so exact that he pays or punish or consequence the midah, can I get midah? Exactly measure to measure. Exactly according what we deserve. So what Rabbi Yochanan is trying to say, אמנם העניין הוא שלעניין משקל המעשים כך עולות בכף הקלות כמו החמורות, כי לא ישכיחו החמורות את הקלות ולא יעלים הדיין אינו מהם כלל, כאשר לא יעלים החמורות, אלא על כולם משקיע ויבקח בהשוואה אחת, לדון כל אחד מהם, להעניש אחר כך על כל אחד בפי מה שהוא. Basically, in a regular human court, let's say the person has two different cases, two different crimes. For example, one is $1,000 crime. The other one is $1 million crime. Definitely, when they come to judge him, they say, oh, he has to answer, he has to face a bigger punishment, $1 million penalty. So that $1,000, anyway, we don't want to even deal with it. Let's deal with the more severe case. But it says in Shamma'im, there is no difference. Even little sin still is part of the case, and a big sin is part of the case. Small mitzvah is part of the case, even a big mitzvah is part of it. And they say about Hagaon Mivina, Zichron Livracha, that once he was in a hotel or motel as they were traveling from city to city. As he was there, he noticed after someone who went out of Torah, out of the path of Torah, and he's just sitting, drinking, and is very even dangerous to talk to. So he's asking him, why you didn't wash your hand when you had bread? So that person says, washing hand, netilat yadayim, for bread? You don't know what sin I've done and I'm doing. Now you're telling me why you didn't do netilat yadayim for washing hand, eating bread? He says, first of all, let me tell you something. That first of all, for Hashem doesn't make a difference how tzaddik, how rasha you are. What big sin or what small sin you do, all are in the case, in the file to deal with. The same way that you have to deal with a big sin, you also have to deal with a small sin. So don't say, since I'm doing a big sin, now a small is okay. All of them you have to answer. And second of all, Israel afal pi shahata Israel. A Jew, even though he does the same, still he's a Jew. He has a room or time to return and to come back. That person take this very brief but very deep statement of Hagra in his heart, and he, after so many years of being sinner, he does teshuvah and he becomes one of the devoted Talmidim of Hagaon Mevilna. So one thing that we should not forget, this is what Rabbi Yochanan trying to inform us. Don't say, if I'm doing a big mitzvah, a little mitzvah is okay if I don't. If I'm doing a bigger avera, if I do a little smaller avera, is nothing. Don't categorize for yourself the misvot or averot. All of them in eyes of Hashem have a value and have judgment. So never ever disregard or underestimate anybody, even yourself, if you are just doing small misvot. Don't say, these misvot are so small. Look at people, they build hospital, they build yeshiva, they're doing such a big misvot. What I'm doing, I have a very small mitzvah in hand. Don't underestimate yourself and your action. Small or big, avera or mitzvah, all are in eyes of Hashem considered in the file, and one by one Hashem has a judgment for it. So therefore, says Ramchal, really what motivates us to be zahir, to be careful, to have zahirut, to have vigilant, is sakhar v'onesh, reward and punishment, that we have to see, not what I see is what it is, but rather everything, every action has a value in eyes of Hashem. And this is what Shlomo HaMelech says. V'huma sheshlomo HaMelech alav shalom omer, ki et kol ma'aseh ha'elohim yavo b'mishpat, because every ma'aseh, every action, Hashem will bring to the mishpat, to the justice, to the judgment. Ki ka'asher en HaKadosh Baruch Hu maniach nishkovach kol ma'aseh tov katan kemo shehu. The same way that Hashem does not forget every little mitzvah that we do, doesn't matter how little it is, still Hashem will consider it. Ki ka'asher en HaKadosh Baruch Hu maniach nishkovach kol ma'aseh tov katan kemo shehu. כן לא יניח לשפוט ולהכריע כל מעשה רע קטן כמות שהוא. Same way, Hashem does not forget every little avera or sin that the person do. The person does. Everything comes to the consideration of Hashem. ולהוציא מלב הרוצים להתפתות ולחשוב שלא יעלה האדון ברוך הוא בדינם הדברים הקלים ולא ייקח חשבון עליהם. And this is to clarify those wrong ideas that the people have, that Hashem, Master of Universe, He will not come pay attention to my little things that I do. These are nothing. Hashem, look at the big and very giant action. He says, no. Kalalahu, ela kalalahu. This is the policy. Kol ha'omer hakadosh baruch hu vatranhu. Whoever says that, you know what? Hashem is vatran. Migzare. He overlooks. Really is not important. Sach nemigir Hashem. Yivat itvatteru me'onehu me'ohehu. They say, oh, so you are telling me that Hashem is not paying that much attention? So He will not pay attention to you anymore. If you think Hashem, Has Shalom, is not that careful or precise or exact, then no one is not gonna consider all what you're doing, and you're not gonna get any benefit from Him, because that's what you believe, that Hashem is not paying attention. Hashem will mete out judgment and proper retribution for even the smallest infraction. So the more we give preciseness to Hashem, that Hashem can differentiate between a multi-millennium action of us, smallest that even we don't consider, the more we make Hashem exact about his carefulness and his judgment, Hashem will say, you know what? You made me so exact. Very good. I'm not going to forget that hi and how are you that you said to your neighbor, even though it's very small to you action that you did, but I bring it under magnifier and I make it so big because you're telling me I'm so exact and nothing go to waste. So in other words, if we want our saving account to have a good interest rate in Shamayim, we have to pay attention to our checking account, what we draw, what we take out. And if we would say, oh, the bank is careful with every penny, they are so exact, same thing when it comes to my saving that I need to gain, they pay interest rate for every penny that I have over there. Because I made the bank so exact that every penny counts. Same thing in Shamayim. If I say to Hashem, Hashem, I know you are so exact that every action, you have it under microscope and you have it under watch and you see Masui Mashkiach, Ain Ra, Ozen Shomat. You're watching everything I do. Then every good thing that we do also, Hashem will be has a full observation to give us exact reward that we believe and we deserve. So we cannot say, you know what, when it comes to Avera, it's okay. But when it comes to Misvot, I say, Hashem, what happened? I did that mitzvah, what happened? So Hashem says, didn't you made me like an old judge that I'm not careful and I don't understand and I don't pay attention to everything? So when it comes to your mitzvot also, I don't pay attention. But if you make me so precise in your averot that you become so careful, you know what? Hashem understands and knows everything. When it comes to mitzvot also, I pay the full attention. Because this is how you know me and you made me so careful about yourself. וכן אמרו, ממסכת חגיגה, אם אומר לך יצר הרע חטא, if יצר הרע comes and tells us, don't worry, do a sin, והקדוש ברוך הוא מוחל לך, and Hashem will forgive you. For these things, you don't have to be worried. Hashem always forgive. Dude, that's okay. Do it. Don't worry. Al tishma lo. Hachamim are telling us, don't listen to him. And you know, Harambam in Hilchot Teshuvah, I think is Perek Revi'i, if I'm not mistaken, or Shalishi, he counts 24 different scenarios that the Teshuvah either is delayed, either is not accepted by Shamayim, or third, even they don't give him a chance of Teshuvah. There are 24 cases. One of the cases, this is what it says in Gemara. It says, let me do it. Kippur is near. I will do Teshuvah. Since based on his Teshuvah, he wants to do the Avera, Hashem says, oh, this Teshuvah actually caused you to do the Avera. You thought it's okay to do the Avera and then you do the Teshuvah. I will take away the chance of Teshuvah from you. So therefore, someone says, Ehteba Ashu. I will come up with a solution. Don't worry. فوقش صدقه میدیم. فوقش این کار میکنیم. فوقش فلان. If you have already ahead of time plan and solution for your avera, how to cure and how to make it up, Hashem says, oh, so that's the planned avera. If someone does the avera and afterwards he regrets, oh, what did I do? And he wants to do teshuvah, that's not planned avera. But someone does planned avera. Here, this money for the ticket or penalty in case I got. Now, let me do the avera. Let me do the sin. So that was a planned avera. So you were fully aware of the consequence. And that's why even you thought, once I do it, don't worry, I do teshuvah. That's the last case. So what do we see from here? That HaKadosh Baruch Hu, he really waiting to reward us for every small action that we do. But one thing, he can't take it if we think Hashem is not paying attention to our small averot. If we could have this type of mindset, that even a small averot matters, then Hashem says, small averot matters to you. Small misvot matters to me. I can't forget when you left that place, you closed the door. Everyone does the close the door. No, but you close the door, you made sure the heat doesn't go to waste. The heat doesn't go to waste. Made sure people, they don't get cold. All these things because you closed the door. That's it. By me closing door, such a small action, Hashem, you willing to give me such a big mitzvah? You say, yeah, why? Because since small averot are matters to you, and you say, no, as a chain reaction might come and might end up in the bigger avera. I also, small mitzvot of what you do matters to me as if a big mitzvah was about to come up. So really, we should not even pay attention to our mitzvot. Our mitzvot are safe because Hashem is watching over. So what we have to really pay attention is to our averot. Was it right what I said? Is it right if I do it? If I just pay attention to be zahir, to have zahirut, based on what Ramchal is telling us, to our averot, we'll see in our file a mitzvot that even we are not aware of it. How this mitzvah came to my file? I never teach someone something. Of course you did. How? Because when you left that book in the shul or somewhere and you didn't know about it, that you left your sefer, your book, someone took it and he read some pages and he learned something and changed his perspective of something that day. All because you left your book, even unintentionally, in that place. So we see, the more we are careful about our averot, the more careful Hashem is about our mitzvot. So in other words, if you don't want Hashem to be your judge, be your own judge. If you don't want Hashem to be your police, be your own police. If you don't want Hashem to be your doctor, be your own doctor. Care about yourself, care about your action, about your life and every second or minute of your being. Once you care so much about your action, Hashem says, oh, your action has value for you. Your words have value for you. You don't just waste it like that. No problem. I will value it as well. So really, even though we read every day, Meshalem Sachar Tov LaSadikim, that Hashem is the one who pays a good reward to the Sadikim, but who's going to punish us? Who's going to be careful about our action? Or who is watching our action? We have a choice. Either us or Hashem. We cannot give reward to ourselves because we are limited. Hashem, he is a banker. He has an unlimited fund. And he's the one who could really, he can afford to give us the reward and the payment. All I could do, just be careful about my action. I could consequence myself. And this is what it says, I think, either in Sefer Orach HaPaim or Nefesh HaChaim. If you could be your own judge and consequence yourself, you are taking away the gezerot and all these negative energies from yourself because you are on top of yourself. For example, some people, they said, you know what? If this time happened that I said Bel Neder, or unfortunately, Lashon Hara, I'm going to put Bel Neder $10 instead of. He puts himself on a watch and schedule and consequence. In case if I did this again, I would do that. A minute that he gives himself some consequence and he's watching himself not to do it, that already take away all the midat hadin, all the judgment of Shamayim. They say, you know what? He knows what he's doing. He's trustworthy that we put him in charge of himself. You know, in a hospital, not every nurse or doctor trusts the patient that they take their medication. They want to make sure. First, they give him a chance. We left here your medication. Please don't forget to take it before 10 o'clock. Okay, thank you. They come back 12 o'clock, still the medication is there. Oh, now they know who are dealing with. No problem. Next day they come and say, okay, I got your medication, please. I want to give it to you. Oh, you could leave. No. Last time we did it, we left it. You forgot, you didn't take it. We cannot trust you. But at least we could trust you to give it to you. Here, this is it. Just eat it in front of me. No problem here. You eat it. And he says, okay, this, that. And موقعی که پرستار روش اونوره تخت میکنه اونور. Next time, you think what they're gonna do? They're gonna open his mouth and make sure he swallows the medication. He cannot be trusted to take care of himself, his health. He put himself in danger, even though he's in a hospital and he knows that he's sick. He doesn't care about the medication, the cure. But again, if they see the first time, they let him have his medication, and he really has it before even 9:30, exactly on time, careful, they're not gonna bother him anymore. They trust him so much. Here, this is the medication. Thank you, because they know he's the man of his word. He's gonna do it. He's on top of himself. Same thing, Hashem. If we want midat hadin to go away or to stay away from us, not to judge us, not to be on top of us, not to make sure here, I want you to have this. open your mouth by force to feed us. If we don't want all this happen from Shaman, you be on top of yourself, Zahirut. You know what? That street or that area, that website, that person, that situation is not for me. I gotta avoid nisyonot, the tests or the circumstances, not to come al yedei nisayon, not to put myself in the situation. I rather pay a little bit more expensive, just do my shopping here in the better area, then go to the cheaper area and put myself in danger of either gashmiut or ruchniut. I mean, there are many people which they are salesmen and they want to make a sell and they know they are good customers in certain dangerous area, unfortunately, but they are good customers, they pay good, and they put themselves in danger to go to sell, but they go with bodyguard, they go with gun, because they know a minute, if they're not careful, they're going to be robbed. They're going to lose all their life, all their money, all their assets. So they are very careful when they go to certain, but there are people they avoid. You know what? That area is not for me. Friend of mine was robbed once. I don't want to go and pay the price. I rather to sell here and there a little bit, but not in that area. So this is what Ramchal is saying. If you want to reward yourself, you are not able. You don't have enough fun. So let Hashem reward you, even for smallest mitzvot or action that you do. But when it comes to Avera, you fully in charge. You can consequence yourself. You could punish yourself. You don't need a big fund, a little bit here and there. Once you do that, a bigger dimension and measure of gezerot is going to be away from you, because there is no one in Shamayim to judge you, because you're already judging yourself down here. So that much Ramchal is opening our eyes. How much Zahirut is beneficial, is so helpful in our life, in this world and the next world. Don't worry about mitzvot. Hashem make mitzvot even from your little acts. He will make a mitzvot out of it. Don't worry about that. Just be careful about averot, because that's all your tikkun is. According to Hagam Mivina, if the person wants to know what is his tikkun, his mission in this world, the short cut is to see what Avera really is hardest for him to do. Any Avera or any sin which is really hardest for him to do, for not to do, that is tikkun here. There are some people, for them, Shemirat halashon, not saying lashon hara, it's so easy. Even they don't say regular things, then they give it lashon hara. They're so careful, so easy, comfortable with that. But when it comes, for example, to Shabbat, they can't. From any corner they want to do it, is another nisayon, another test. For them, Shabbat is a big test. Hagam Mivina says, got it. This is your tikkun in this world. And even in any health system, once they want to know what's wrong with person, they see what is the problem with these old tests and checkup that they do. The kind of more miserable test and checkup that the person has, they say the more miserable and bad situation he is, because the tests are not good. The numbers are not good. So same thing. We should not give in to our averot. Why? Because that's the whole reason we are brought to this world, to tikkun our averot. And we should be careful about them through zehirut. Why? Because we're saving thousands and thousands of frustration, hardship, nisyonot from ourselves once we are careful about ourselves. Hashem says, Mekatrek and Satan and Middat Haddin in Shamayim, they are not anymore kind of concerned about you. Why? Because you are so concerned about yourself that they can trust you that you could handle it yourself. So, Bezrat Hashem, Pesach is coming. It's not just enough not to eat masa, it's even more important not to eat chametz. So there are certain rabbanim from Brisk, the only time that they eat masa through the whole 7 or 8 days of Pesach is only Leil Seder. They don't eat masa the whole Pesach. Why? Because they are afraid maybe it's chametz. Maybe it's not baked fully. Means they are so careful about chametz more than masa. Eating masa, according to Midoraita, is only one time throughout the whole Pesach. That's Leil Seder. Al masot umromrim yuchlu. That's it. But not eating chametz is the whole 7 days of Pesach. That's we have to be careful. Having zehirut from averot, from chametz, is a whole life. And that's why misvot, even if you don't pay attention, Hashem says, once you are careful about your averot, I will be careful about your misvot. Don't worry about it. And this is what we started in these past few months from beginning. Sur merav hasetov. This is what Ramchal is starting off. First, stay away from bad, then asetov, then do good. First, sur merav. That's how much important is to have zehirut in life. And that's why, Bezrat Hashem, we're gonna hold our class here. And I'm sure after we have enough masa and not chametz, after Pesach, we could resume our classes and see exactly if that happened, what Ramchal was telling us. If we become just masa free or become chametz free people. And I always say this joke. Torah says, get rid of your chametz, clean your house, get rid of your chametz. We are so mahmir that we leave the chametz in our houses and we get rid of our houses. We go out, we go to hotels, we go here and there. We leave all the chametz. And this is what the Torah says. By cleaning your house, you're going to clean yourself. And this is a whole job. Not by celebrating Pesach, even become more exposed and involved in chametz of ruchnut, in here and there, and all these trips. On the contrary, by being so careful about chametz in the house, you will be careful about the chametz in our mind and heart. May Hashem help us to have a good Chag Kasher Sameach for all of us. And Bezrat Hashem with Besorot Tovot from here, Israel, all over. And only Samahot and Zehirut Bezrat Hashem.